My name's Stuart Bailey and this is Dog World TV. It all started at Scottish Kennel Club back in May, travelled on to Blackpool, to southern counties and then the city of Birmingham in September. And here we are today, in January 2011, at Stafford, for the finals of the PetPlan Junior Stakes.
So, I'd like you to welcome as enthusiastically as you can all 28 finalists, the first of which is the Italian Greyhound champion Florita Tipitina. And this is a 19-month-old bitch being shown by Helen Lister. Number 2 in your programme is the Griffon Bruxellois champion Donzita Royal Taffeta, owned and handled by David Guy. Number 3, the third of our toy breeds, is the Pekingese. This is Livanda Maluda with Andrea Livesey, who is also his owner breeder. And our final toy, we have the Maltese bitch Zumanic Piece of Cake with Nicola Wellborn, again owner, breeder, handler. The first of our terriers is the Skye Terrier male, Papawick Knockandoo for Trenson, owned and handled by Julie Harrison. And then from a Skye Terrier to a Kerry Blue Terrier, this is the bitch Therden Showtime to Akama with Pat Munro, who is the co-owner. The Welsh Terrier male, champion Sonora Percy Pimp, is number 7 in your programme, owned and handled by Nick Connell. Then we have a Border Terrier, number 8, Enchanted Evening at Etterburn, handled by Lee Reynolds. So number 9, which was, I think, originally champion Voyageur Voulez-Vous, is now the Lhasa Apso male Jailus Christiana, being handled by owner breeder Amanda Luskers, to whom we are eternally grateful for stepping in at the last minute. Our next utility breed is the Sarpé male champion Witchgate, sounds terrific, with owner, breeder, handler Sharon Sutherland. Number 11 is the miniature schnauzer Jansad Diamond Candy, owned and handled by Anne Oakey. Number 12, we have the Shih Tzu bitch Tamaron Miss Eternity, another being handled by the owner breeder, in this instance Helen Howard. First of our hounds, number 13, is champion Winspiel Northern Stylo, being handled by co-owner Robert Newsham. Then we have an Afghan hound bitch. Number 14 is Saxon Mill Midnight Magic, owned and handled by Thomas Devaney. Now we have the first of 2 beagles. Number 15, we have the bitch Dialyn Eva Perron, being shown by owner breeder Melanie Spavin. And the beagle male, number 16, Eardley Duncan Disorderly, with Tim Jones, owner breeder. Moving on to our gun dogs. We have the Irish setter, who I believe is substituting the first of what was originally going to be 3 pointers. This is Anne Laurie, The Living Daylights over Julie set, who is number 17. The Irish setter male being handled by breeder Nigel Naylor. Number 18, the first of 2 pointers in reality. This is Ansona Simple Simon, being shown by Linda Adams. Now we come to the flat-coated retriever, Ballyriver Blake, who is being handled here by Frank White for owner Christine Young. Number 20 is the second of our 2 pointers. This is the bitch Ansona Lucy Lockett, being shown by Dawn Elrington, one of 4 co-owners. Moving on to the pastoral representatives. Number 21 is the first of our bearded collies, Breaks the Amazing Grace for Caldermist. This is the bitch, being shown by Angela Pedder. Number 22 is the Australian Shepherd, Allmark Lenny Henry, being handled by Neil Allen, who co-owns him with Robert Harlow. Now, number 23 should have been one of our trio of bearded collies, but sadly that dog's unable to be with us. But again, we're very grateful to our substitute for coming in at the last minute. And in this instance, this is the Samoyed Van Dream Imperial Cheruti, being handled by Diane Wilkes. Number 24 is another bearded collie. This is Kilfinnan Country Clover, the beardy bitch, being handled by co-owner Tony Burscoe. And finally we come to our working group representatives. Number 25 is the Newfoundland male Sand Bears Stride and Style, being shown by Suzanne Blake. 26 is a Siberian Husky Cold as Ice Phoenix Rising, being handled by owner breeder Michael Patrick. Number 27, I believe the only imported dog competing today, and this is the Alaskan Malamute male Equinox Woodvram Polani Usvit, being handled by co-owner Sergio Bebiano. And finally, as they say, number 28 is a St. Bernard male Poolsway Just William, being handled by co-owner Tan Negresha. So we have a full complement of 28 finalists for you today, and it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our 3 judges. Ladies first. All the way from Portugal, we're delighted that Carla Molinari has joined us. She needs little introduction. She's president of the Portuguese Kennel Club, and in December, amongst her other many achievements, she had the great pleasure of judging the finals of the Eukanuba World Challenge in California. So a big welcome from PetPlan to Carla Molinari. Either side of her, what is it, little and large? Neither of these guys need any introduction. Please step forward, Steve Hall and Robin Searle. Two of our homegrown all-rounders, both of them great characters within their own right, I'm sure you'll agree. So could I ask the 3 judges to stroll around and have their first look at the 28 finalists? Just out of interest, you know, when it was announced last year by Alison that the PetPlan Junior Stakes were to take on a somewhat new format, with 7 qualifiers coming from the different groups at each of just 4 shows. Some cynics suggested that this would be unfair on the bitches because the males always have the advantage, having that little bit of extra testosterone presence or whatever. For your information, of the 28 qualifiers here today, and we couldn't have planned this better, can you believe we have 13 males and 15 bitches? So I reckon that's a pretty even representation, don't you? So our 3 judges have now completed their initial look at the entire class of 28. So could we ask the Italian Greyhound to lead the way out of the ring, and you'll all be called back individually for the hands-on assessment. So I think you'll all agree this is a pretty impressive class of 28. The more you clap, the warmer your hands will get. Okay, so could we have dog number 1 to Steve Hall's table, please? Now, this part of the competition, as those of you who are PetPlan regulars are well aware, the judges are going to mark out of 10 each individual dog for construction and breed type. So the first dog on the table for Steve Hall to examine is the Italian Greyhound bitch champion Florita Tipitina, being handled by owner-breeder Helen Lister, who comes from Windermere in Cumbria. Scarlett qualified at the Scottish Kennel Club show, where the judge was Ian Miller, who I'm delighted to see has come down to join us today. And she's now 19 months of age today. She's won 6 challenge certificates, all of them with best of breed. The second of our toy breeds is a Griffon Bruxellois, again a bitch, and this is champion Donzita Royal Taffeta, being owned, bred and handled by David Guy. She's now 20 months of age. They've come down from Seaham in County Durham, and Olga is the winner of 3 CCs, 2 reserves, and 10 times she's won her class of championship shows. She was Group 3 at the South Wales Kennel Association show and Group 4 at Driffield. I think it was Zena Thorne Andrews who once said that before any breeder can claim to have a line, they should produce litters, each of whose grandparents were homebred. And if that's the case, David has certainly developed a line, because this bitch's grandparents and parents are all homebred, 6 of them being champions. We move on now to the Pekingese. This is another owner-bred and handled dog, the 23-month-old male Livander Maluda, being handled here by Andrea Livesey. Andrea and Norman come from Keighley in Yorkshire, and he is already the winner of 2 challenge certificates with best of breed, 3 reserves, and 15 times he's won his class of championship shows. At Crufts last year, Norman won the reserve CC from the puppy class, was also best puppy. And interestingly, he's a double grandson of Andrea and Stewart's very well-known champion Livander Santana, who has been a phenomenal stud dog in the breed. And the last of our 4 toys is the Maltese bitch. And this is Toffee, otherwise known as Zumanic piece of cake. And she qualified at the City of Birmingham, where Derek Smith was the judge. She was 16 months of age and is owned, bred and handled by Nicola Wellborn, and they come from Usford Bee near Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire. She's won 2 Green Stars in Ireland from the puppy class and three of her classes in the UK. She's sired by an American import out of a bitch who also carries some American breeding, but who also goes back to several generations of Nicola's homebred champion bitches. The first of our terriers is number 5, the Skye Terrier, and this is Papelwick Knockandoo for Trenson, otherwise known as Merlin. He qualified at the Scottish Kennel Club under Ian Miller, is just 2 years of age, owned and handled by Julie Harrison, and bred by Brendan Olding and Jerry Munro. And they've come from Catterick in North Yorkshire. Merlin has won 9 classes at championship shows, 3 of them with Best Puppy. His pedigree contains some famous British Skye kennel names such as Rosnaga, Acheo, Sill Hill and Glorfindel, as well as some imports from the USA, Europe and Scandinavia. Now from a Skye Terrier we come to a Kerry Blue whose pet name confusingly is Skye. And this is Serdun Showtime to Akama, a 21-month-old bitch being handled here by Pat Munro, who co-owns her with John Averis. She qualified at Southern Counties where the judge was Patsy Hollings. They come from Peb Marsh in Essex. She's won 8 first prizes in the breed and has been Best Puppy 5 times. She was 3rd in the puppy group at National Terrier and qualified for today's final at her very first attempt. She's unbeaten in her puppy and junior breed classes at championship shows. We now have the Welsh Terrier champion Sonora Percy Pimp. You won't be amazed to hear that his pet name is Percy. He qualified at Blackpool where the judge was Geoffrey Davis. He's now just 19 months of age and he's being handled by co-owner and breeder Nick Connell, who owns him with wife Sonia. They come from Southport in Lancashire. Percy's won 4 challenge certificates, 3 of them with Best of Breed and 2 reserves. He was also Best in Show at the Welsh Terrier Association's Championship Show and has placed 4th in a puppy group at a general championship show. We now have the Border Terrier number 8, Enchanted Evening at Etterburn. This is a 16-month-old bitch who qualified at the City of Birmingham where the judge was Derek Smith. Bred by Carl Mahoney. She's owned by Lee and Lynn Reynolds. Lee is handling, and they come from Hayling Island in Hampshire. She's already won 2 reserve CCs, 6 times has won her class at championship shows, and has 3 times won Best Puppy in Show at open shows. She also won the Terrier Puppy Group at 3 counties and has twice been best puppy in her breed at championship shows. That's the Border Terrier Enchanted Evening at Etterburn. We now move on to the utility group representatives, and number 9, I think, in the programme was originally going to be the Dalmatian champion Voitza Voulez-Vous, who unfortunately is in season and unable to be with us. But we're duly grateful to Amanda Luscott, who's very kindly stepped in as the reserve from the SKC where Ian Miller judged. Jailus Christiana de Larsa is a 23-month-old male, owned, bred and handled by Amanda, who comes from Sleaford in Lincolnshire. The winner of 1 challenge certificate and 3 reserves. 14 times he's won his class at championship shows. He won the utility puppy group at Boston in 2010 and has twice won best in show at open shows, having previously won best puppy at all breed shows. That's the Lhasa Apso male Jailus Cristiano. Number 10 is the Sarpei male champion, Whichgate Sounds Terrific, otherwise known as Dixie Dean. Owned, bred and handled by Sharon Sutherland, who comes from Milton Keynes in Buckinghamshire. Dixie qualified at Southern Counties, where the judge was Patsy Hollings. He's now the winner of 4 challenge certificates, 2 of them with best of breed. Additionally, 6 reserves. And he won Group 2 at last year's Birmingham National and was runner-up top puppy at the East Anglian Supermatch. Dog number 11 is the miniature Schnauzer bitch, Jansad Diamond Candy, who qualified at Blackpool, where Geoffrey Davis judged. And Candy is one of many who will shortly be celebrating her 2nd birthday. Owned and handled by Anne Oakey. She was bred by Carol Daniels. They come from Bolton Le Sands, near Carnforth in Lancashire. She's the winner of 5 championship show firsts, and she won best puppy in show at her first ever show when she was just 6 months of age, and has since won several special beginners stakes at championship shows, as well as puppy group wins at open shows. That's the miniature Schnauzer, Jansad Diamond Candy. On the table now is the Shih Tzu bitch Tamaron Miss Eternity, number 12 in your programme. Owned, bred and handled by Helen Howard. They've come from Chesterfield in Derbyshire. She's now 15 months of age. They qualified at the City of Birmingham, where Derek Smith was the judge. She's now the winner of 8 championship show first prizes, has been best puppy in breed at championship shows 3 times, and has won 4 heats of the Pup of the Year on her day, being runner-up twice. She's won several best puppy in show awards at both breed and general open shows. That's the Shih Tzu bitch Tamaron Miss Eternity. Now we have the Greyhound. This is champion Winspiel Northern Stylo, otherwise known as Janie. This is a 22-month-old bitch. She qualified at the Scottish Kennel Club, where Ian Miller judged. She's actually the number 1 Greyhound of last year, having won 5 CCs, 3 of them with best of breed. She's being handled by Robert Newsham, who is the co-owner and breeder with wife Elaine, and they come from Rochdale in Lancashire. Out of just 9 outings, she's won 7 first placings, 2 seconds, and as I says, was the #1 greyhound of last year. Although being lightly shown and attending just 9 shows, she actually won her championship at just 16 months of age, which is believed to be a record for greyhound bitches. The next of our hounds is the Afghan hound bitch Saxon Mill Midnight Magic, number 14, being handled by owner Thomas Devaney, who comes from Livingston in West Lothian. Bred by Roberta Hall, Marnie is now 23 months of age, qualified at Southern Counties where Patsy Hollings judged. She's already the winner of 2 reserve challenge certificates and has 15 times won her class. She also competed at the beginning of this year, or last year I should say, in the finals of the Dog World Pro Plan Pup of the Year competition. That's the Afghan hound bitch Saxon Mill Midnight Magic. Number 15 is the first of 2 beagles, and this is the bitch, Dial-In Eva Perron. Eva is being handled by owner-breeder Melanie Spavin. She qualified at Blackpool under Geoffrey Davis, and very shortly will be celebrating her 2nd birthday. They come from Solihull in the West Midlands. Although lightly shown to make way for her Kennel Mates campaign, Eva won the Reserve CC out of a mammoth entry at the Beagle Club, the Parent Club's championship show last year. Her name can be contributed to her sire, who you may have twigged is an Argentinian import. That's Dial-In Eva Perron. We now have a beagle male, number 16, and this is Eardley Duncan Disorderly, who qualified at the City of Birmingham under Derek Smith. Duncan is now 19 months of age. He's owned and bred by Tim Jones and Steve Jepson from Bignell End in Staffordshire, and Tim is handling. He's the winner of 4 reserve CCs, has been a consistent winner in his breed classes, and having won the puppy group at Boston Championship Show in 2010, he went 1 better this year by winning the hound group. At the same show, the kennel scored a remarkable double when Duncan's daughter qualified for the Pup of the Year final. That's Eardley Duncan Disorderly. We now have the first of our gun dogs, number 17. Should have been a pointer, according to your program, but that pointer has morphed into an Irish setter. This is Anne Laurie, the Living Daylights over dual set, otherwise known as Kian, was being handled by Nigel Naylor, who is his breeder along with Jane Morrison. He's 23 months of age, qualified at the Scottish Kennel Club where Ian Miller judged, and this is where he was runner-up to the first of 3 pointers, Lochmaddy J. Todd at Carnix, who sadly is unable to be with us today. They've come from Solihull in the West Midlands, and he is actually the winner of many championship show first prizes and completed his junior warrant last July. He was also reserve best puppy in show at the East Anglian Gun Dog Show. This is The substituted Irish setter Anne Laurie, the Living Daylights over dual set. So the first of our 2 pointers is number 18, and this is Ansona Simple Simon. This is a pointer male who qualified at Southern Counties where Patsy Hollings judged. He's now 17 months of age. He's being handled by Linda Adams, who co-owns him with breeder Tricia Grime. And a son of the well-known bitch show champion Ansona Fool Britannia at Enrib. Simon has won 2 reserve CCs, and interestingly is a grandson of the big winning New Zealand import show champion, Australian and New Zealand champion Chester Hope. Let's be serious. The flat-coated retriever, number 19, is Ballyriver Blake, who qualified at Blackpool where Geoffrey Davis judged. Now 13 months of age, Blake is owned by Christine Young, his breeder, and today is being handled by Frank White. They come from Ecclevechan in Dumfriesshire. Blake has already won 1 reserve CC, along with his 16 first prizes at championship shows. He actually won his reserve CC from the junior class, which is quite unusual in this breed, and previously was a championship show puppy group placer. Number 20 is another pointer, and this is Ansona Lucy Lockett, who interestingly is the litter sister to the pointer male that we have in the ring, and it's indeed very rare for us to have 2 litter mates competing at the PetPlan Junior Stakes final. Like her brother, Lucy is 17 months of age, was bred by Tricia Grime, and is co-owned by Dawn Elrington, who's handling, along with Nicola Green, Elaine Cannon and Annie Moore, and they come from Barnsley in South Yorkshire. The first of our pastoral breeds is number 21, and this is a bearded collie, Breaksea Amazing Grace for Caldermist. Gracie qualified at the Scottish Kennel Club where Ian Miller judged. She's now 23 months of age. Was bred by Jill Burfitt, is owned by George and Angela Pedder, and Angela is handling. 16 times she's won her class at championship shows, and Gracie won her reserve CC at just 6 months of age, which is quite remarkable in this breed. She was a semi-finalist in the Kennel Gazette Junior Warrant competition, won 5 pastoral puppy groups, 3 times was best puppy in show at open shows. Number 22 is an Australian Shepherd. This is Allmark Lenny Henry. Lenny qualified at Southern Counties where Patsy Hollings judged. He's now 21 months of age, was bred by Neil and Angie Allen, jointly with Robert Harlow. They come from Oakham in Rutland, and it's Neil handling. He's won 15 first prizes at championship shows, also won best puppy in the breed at Crufts 2009, beating his litter sister. Number 23 is another of our substitutes, to whom we are duly grateful, We've lost a bearded collie, but gained a Samoyed in the shape of Van Dream Imperial Cheruti. This is the Samoyed bitch, who is 22 months of age, owned by Diane Wilkes, who's handling, and they come from Walsall in the West Midlands, so thankfully haven't had too far to travel. Bred by Andrea Kirkwood, as the winner of 2 classes of championship shows, was best puppy in show at the Northern Samoyed Club Show, also won the Minor Puppy Stakes at Darlington, and has 5 times been best puppy in breed at open shows. Number 24 is another bearded collie, this time Kilfinnan Country Clover. Ginny qualified at the City of Birmingham, where Derek Smith judged. She's now 22 months of age and was owned and bred by Tony and Chris Burskow. Tony is handling. They come from Holywell in Flintshire. She's already the winner of 1 Reserve CC. She's a best puppy in show winner at open show level and also won the special yearling stakes at Darlington. The Newfoundland, the first of our working group representatives, is Sandbear's Stride and Style, number 25, who qualified at the SKC under Ian Miller. He's now 20 months old, is being handled by owner breeder Suzanne Blake, and they come from Llangollen in Denbighshire. Already the winner of 2 Reserve CCs, 17 classes at championship shows. Stride won several Best Puppy Awards in his breed, a Best Puppy in Show, and twice Reserve Best Puppy at Breed Club Championship shows. The Siberian Husky that Steve is going over now is number 26, and this is Cold as Ice Phoenix Rising, being handled by Michael Patrick, who is the owner breeder along with Lee Ashman, and they come from Stanley in County Durham. Phoenix being the winner of many championship show first prizes, the Junior Warrant and the Show Certificate of Merit. That's the Siberian Husky, Cold as Ice, Phoenix Rising. Number 27, this is the only import we have competing today, and this is the Alaskan Malamute, Equinox Woodvram Polani Usvit, who is actually bred in the Czech Republic by Jana Hinkova. 22 months of age, Chaos qualified at Blackpool when Geoffrey Davis judged, and is owned by Sergio and Charlene Bebiano. Sergio also being an import, as you may have realised. And they live in Crawley in West Sussex. Chaos actually won his first CC and Best to Breed at the LKA under breed specialist Sue Ellis, going on to Group 2 under Anne Arch. He's also won his Junior Warrant, Show Certificate of Merit, and is the Best in Show winner. And finally, number 28 is the St Bernard Poolsway Just William, a 21-month-old St Bernard who qualified at the City of Birmingham, where Derek Smith judged. being handled by Tan Negresha, who co-owns him with breeders Steve and Sue Poole, along with Alison Granger. They come from Rugby in Warwickshire, and William has won 2 CCs, 1 reserve, and has only been shown 4 times. His record is quite remarkable in that he was also best in show at the Breed Club Championship show. So that's the last of our finalists, Poolsway, Just William, the St Bernard. And for those of you that like collecting useless information, you may be interested to know that even though we revamped things last year and produced qualifiers from just 4 shows, as far as the regions are concerned, we have a very healthy geographical spread. And interestingly, Lancashire came out on top, producing 4 qualifiers. So our 3 judges have now completed the individual assessment. We've lost the tables. We now come to the third part of the competition, where our 3 judges are going to study movement. Obviously, they need to see exactly the same pattern of movement, so they will watch the dogs together, but there will, of course, be no conferring. So if we can have our 3 judges to the centre. First, we have the Italian Greyhound champion, Florita Tipitina. This is Scarlet. Although on her dam side, her pedigree contains several generations of Florita champions, her sire was actually an American import, who, although sired by a British bred dog, brought with him some interesting new bloodlines. That's the Italian Greyhound bitch, champion Florita Tipitina. The Griffon Bruxellois, champion Donzita Royal Taffeta. As I said earlier, this is certainly a homebred dog in that both parents and 4 grandparents were all bred by David, and 6 of them were actually UK champions. That's champion Donzita Royal Taffeta, the Griffon Bruxellois. The Pekingese Lavanda Maluda. Norman being a double grandson of that well-known stud force champion Lavanda Santana, who was also owned and bred by Stuart and Andrew Livesey. And the last of our toy representatives is the Maltese bitch, Zumanic piece of cake. And Toffee is sired by an American import out of a bitch who also carries some American breeding, but who also goes back to several generations of Nicola's homebred champion bitches. That's the Maltese Zumanic piece of cake. The first of the terriers is the Skye Terrier, Papelwick Knockandu for Trenson. Merlin's pedigree contains some famous British Skye kennel names such as Rosnaga, Acheo, Silhill and Glorfindel, as well as some imports from the USA, Europe and Scandinavia. The Skye Terrier, Papelwick Knockandu for Trenson. The Kerry Blue bitch, Serdon Showtime to Akama. Her sire, Champion Torum's Tundi Bayu, was reserve best in show at Crufts. And her dam is Champion Sharp and Shocking Iris Blue, who won her UK and Irish titles before leaving for Thailand after her litter, from where she became a Thai champion, Indonesian champion and international champion, winning many best in show. That's the Kerry Blue bitch, Serdon Showtime to Arkama. We now have the Welsh Terrier male, and this is Champion Sonora Percy Pimp. Not surprisingly, Percy also has a connection with the Serdon kennel, as both his parents were bred by Judy and were both sired by that influential American imported stud dog, international champion C's Ready to Go. That's the Welsh Terrier, Champion Sonora, Percy Pimp. The Border Terrier bitch, Enchanted Evening at Etterburn. And Rosie has a very interesting ancestry, actually. And to prove that successful show dogs don't always have to come from champions, both of Rosie's parents, Underheim Alfie and Frosty Cracker, are both successful working dogs from the north of England. That's the Border Terrier bitch, Enchanted Evening at Etterburn. The Lhasa Apso Jailus Cristiano, whose sire and dam are both champions, and he's actually the result of a repeat mating. The first two litters producing 3 champions in the UK and 1 a champion dog in South Africa, who in 2010 has just become South Africa's Dog of the Year all breeds. That's Jailus Cristiano. The Sarpay champion, Whichgate Sounds Terrific. Dixie, the winner of 4 challenge certificates. Both his parents are champions, and one of his grandsires, an American imported champion. That's the Sarpay champion, Whichgate Sounds Terrific. The miniature Schnauzer is Jansad Diamond Candy, and she's sired by a Rise Park male, and her dam was bred from 2 Jansad champions, and the fifth generation of her pedigree consists of virtually exclusively American champions. That's Jansad Diamond Candy. The Shih Tzu bitch Tamaron Miss Eternity, otherwise known as Dora the Explorer, who was actually a granddaughter of champion Tamaron Mr. Excess, the dog with which Helen won phenomenally in recent years. That's the Shih Tzu bitch Tamaron Miss Eternity. And now we have the Greyhound Champion Winspiel Northern Stylo. Interestingly, the Newshams have produced top brood bitches over the past 2 decades, including this bitch's dam and grandam. And those of you who actually own up to watching soap operas on television may be interested to know that one of their retired champions ultimately enjoyed a second life as Monica, the Greyhound in Coronation Street. Not a lot of people know that. The Afghan Hound, Saxon Mill Midnight Magic. Marnie's pedigree mainly combines 2 great British Afghan kennel names, Amudaria and Saxon Mill, combined with dogs from the famous Boxerdan Afghan kennel in Denmark. The first of our beagles is Dialin Eva Perron, and as I mentioned earlier, Eva is actually sired by an Argentinian import who won his UK title and was a group winner here. And although he brought with him important outcross blood, he traced back to several Dialin hounds of the past, along with the UK breed record holder. Eva's dam is Dialin bred for many generations and is a daughter of their Crufts Group winner, champion Dialin Maximus. Our beagle male is Eardley Duncan Disorderler. Duncan was the Boston Group winner, as I mentioned, and his pedigree is a combination of Fallowfield, Deanery, Bayard and Norsis lines, along with a little outcrossed American breeding. This is Eardley Duncan Disorderly, the beagle male. The Irish setter male, Anne Laurie, the Living Daylights over dual set. Cian was bred from 2 Anne Laurie parents and is actually closely line bred to show champion Barden Hill Kissogram. I mentioned that he's being handled by breeder Nigel Naylor. He's owned by Julie Greenan, who, although she's owned Irish setters for 35 years, has actually only been showing for 10. The first of our pointers is Ansona Simple Simon. Interestingly, we had 3 pointers originally qualified today. Sadly, one of them is unable to be with us, but all 3 of them are actually grandchildren of the New Zealand import Chester Hope Let's Be Serious, who made a very big impact in the show ring before returning home. The flat-coated retriever Bally River Blake. Three of Blake's grandparents are actually Scandinavian champions, but on his dam's side he goes back to Branchel Wood, Casval and Kenjo, show champions from this country. That's the flat-coated retriever, Bally River Blake. Now we have the pointer bitch Ansona Lucy Lockett, and Lucy Lockett is the litter sister to Simple Simon. So, not surprisingly, they have exactly the same breeding. Interestingly, she's often handled in junior handling classes by her 13-year-old co-owner, Annie Moore, and her 10-year-old sister, Emmeline. She's already commenced training for field work and will later in the year begin to compete in field trials. The first of our pastoral breeds is a bearded collie bitch. This is Breaksea Amazing Grace for Caldermist. Gracie was bred from 2 champions, and her pedigree includes champions from the Diotima, Gilaba, Samara, Aurorus and Potterdale kennels, all of them historic names in bearded collies. That's Breaksea Amazing Grace for Caldermist. Now we come to Allmark Lenny Henry, the Australian Shepherd. Lenny was sired by the well-known group winner, American and UK champion Heather Hill, Shock and Awe, out of a daughter of 2 Irish champions. He was one of a litter of 11 puppies, all of which are black, which inspired them. Am I allowed to say this? Anyhow, they were all named after very famous black people. We can say black these days, can't we? We're not allowed to say coloured. Black is good. Okay, right. Anyhow, this is Lenny Henry, brother of Tina Turner and sundry other well-known black people. This is our last-minute substitute, the Samoyed Van Dream Imperial Cheruti. Van Dream being a prefix carried by several of our top winning Samoyeds in recent years, and we are indeed grateful that the Samoyed was able to give us a full field so we didn't have any gaps. Number 24, another bearded collie. This is Kilfinnan Country Clover. Ginny actually represents the 5th generation of Tony and Chris Bursco's homebred beardies. She's sired by champion Marythorpe Mulberry out of a daughter of champion Kilfinnan Farmer's Boy, and she carries well-known Auroras and Potterdale breeding. Interesting to see a pedigree with Pat Jones's old stuff in. Number 25 is the first of our working breeds. This is the Newfoundland Sand Bears Stride and Style. Although his dam's tail bitch line is very much Old English and predominantly Shermead, through his sire and maternal grandsire, he carries a lot of American, European and Scandinavian breeding from such famous kennels as Pouch Cove, Twillingate, Cayuga and Topsies. The Siberian Husky is Cold as Ice Phoenix Rising. And Phoenix's pedigree is very heavily influenced by American imports, most of her great-great-grandparents being American champions. Interestingly and touchingly, she is the only survivor of a litter of 3, and therefore is obviously very special to Michael and Lee. That's the Siberian Husky Cold as Ice Phoenix Rising. And this is our imported Alaskan Malamute, Equinox Woodvram Polani Uspit, who was actually bred in Czechia. and his pedigree is very heavily influenced by exports from the famous Storm Clouds kennel in the USA, combined with dogs from the equally famous Nanook kennel. And Keush is actually the first ever imported Alaskan Malamute to win a Junior Warrant and Show Certificate of Merit, which he did in just 5 shows. And now we come to the St. Bernard, Poolsway Just William. Although his pedigree traces back to some of the earliest Chandlermore champions, William also carries blood introduced from the Berna Gordon's kennel in Norway and the Opdyke's stronghold in the USA. The St. Bernard, Poolsway Just William. So that's the last of our 28 finalists to be put through the movement pattern, and very shortly we will arrive at our short list of 5 or thereabouts. Sadly, we don't have any ties, and you know how much I love my ties. We have a clear-cut 5. So, and I'm going to bring these in size and speed order. They're not coming in, it's nothing to do with points, because they're going to be moving quite a lot. So, can we invite back into the ring, first of all, number 27, the Alaskan Malamute. So that's the first of our finalists, the Alaskan Malamute. Can we have back in number 25 the Newfoundland, please? Can we have back number 28 the St. Bernard? Can we have back number 10, the Sarpé? And finally, the Welsh Terrier, number 7. Now, at this stage of the competition, each of these dogs has been given an extra point, so the absolute maximum points at this stage of the proceedings is going to be 91 out of 100. The judges now have the option to give any of these dogs up to 3 points for that little extra star quality. So could we ask the Alaskan Malamute to go right the way around, please, and then join on behind the Welsh Terrier. And our 3 judges will have that final opportunity to see you moving individually. That's the Alaskan Malamute, Equinox, Woodram, Polani, Uspit. Can we have the Newfoundland around, please? That's the Newfoundland Sandbears Strident Style. The St. Bernard, Poolsway Just William. The Sarpé, this is champion Witchgate, sounds terrific. And the Welsh Terrier, champion Sonora, Percy Pimp. Now can we have the 5 finalists once around the ring together, please? And I'm sure you'd like to put your hands together for this final quintet, and I'm sure it's going to be a close run thing. The Malamute, the Newfoundland, the St. Bernard, the Sarpei, and the Welsh Terrier. And certainly something of an achievement for the working group, having 3 out of the 5 in there. And interestingly, all 5 males, I think. Looks like 2 of our judges certainly have finished, as they are now chatting. You know what I said about not having a tie? Thank you, God. Right. Now, judges, you're really going to have to concentrate on this. Could I ask the following 3 dogs to step forward? I'm not going to tell you what place you've tied for, because that would just ruin it. But could we have the Welsh Terrier, the St. Bernard, and the Malamute to step forward, please? Now, you 3 judges, I want you to tell Mr. Kokoza which of these 3 dogs you like the best. Tell Mr. Kokoza. Right, will you take these 3 dogs around the ring and then go back in line, please? Around you go. Malamute, you can lead off. Okay. The winner of the PetPlan Junior Stakes Final for 2010, I am delighted to say, is in your catalogue, dog number 10, the Sarpei champion, Witchgate. Sounds terrific. Handled by owner breeder Sharon Sutherland. Now, it's the one that says first, Sharon, or winner? Winner. In second place, we have the Alaskan Malamute, Equinox Woodfram Polani Usvit. In third place, we have the Welsh Terrier, champion Sonora Percy Pimp. Fourth, the St. Bernard Poolsway Just William. And fifth, the Newfoundland Sandbears Stride and Style. So could I ask our 5 winners to go once around the ring and then return to the boards, please? Your PetPlan Junior of the Year champion, Witchgate, sounds terrific. And I'm now going to hand you over once again to Alison Andrew. So, ladies and gentlemen, an exciting competition. Please put your hands together for our winners. The Sarpay champion, Whichgate, sounds terrific, receiving goodies from Alison Andrew, followed by the Alaskan Malamute. Third place going to the Welsh Terrier. Fourth, the St. Bernard. And fifth, the Newfoundland. That's quite a nice prize card, Sharon, isn't it? 500 quid. You'll be able to get a proper hairdo now.
I'm joined by Sharon Sutherland and more importantly by champion Whichgate Sounds Terrific, or Dixie Dean to his friends. Sharon, Dixie's just won the PetPlan Junior Stakes final. How do you feel?
Well, I'm lost for words for once. So people that know me will say that is a first.
Interesting facial expression when they announced you as winner.
Yeah, I know. I'm over the moon. I just can't believe it.
I mean, you've had a great year. I mean, we first spoke to you Pup of the Year last year when you reached the Pup of the Year finals. And then Dixie's gone on to have a fantastic year. Tell us a little bit.
Well, obviously, in May he got Best of Breed and Best Puppy in Breed. And then he got Group 2 at Birmingham. And then since then we've won 5 tickets in total and 7 reserves. And also he was runner-up top puppy for the East Anglian Super Match. And we've just had so much fun along the way. Just so much fun. It's been fantastic.
Throughout the year, I mean, you've always looked as if you've really been enjoying yourself.
I always do. I mean, obviously I love showing, but the social side of it I really do like. And as long as my dogs enjoy the day, that's all I want really. And to win is fantastic. Like today, I just can't believe it, but it's got to be fun at the end of the day.
Well, congratulations and good luck for 2011. Is he going to be back out this year?
For sure. Go Dixie.
Enjoy yourself. Thanks
Thank you
again.
very much. Thank
And
you.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm joined by a very happy Sergio Bebiano and Kirsch, who've just become runners-up in this year's PetPlan Junior Stakes final. Sergio, we met you at Blackpool when you won through to the finals. You're very happy and enthusiastic then. You must be delighted today.
Absolutely right, more than delightful. Just being here for me is a big achievement. Being selected by such prestigious panel of judges to the last 5, even better, but then being the runner-up on the 2011 PetPlan, it's even better.
As I say, we met you at Blackpool for the first time. What have you achieved since then?
Since then, we've become the first imported Alaska Malamute to gain the junior warrant. We managed to achieve as well Kyushu show certificate of marriage, which we also did in only 5 shows, and then we did manage to do a few more open shows, and even in Milton Keynes this year we were the supreme best in showing there.
Excellent. Well, he's obviously really happy with his wins. I'll let you go and enjoy your victory.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Alison Andrews, PetPlan's head of marketing. Alison, fantastic show today. End of the first year of the new format. How do you feel the new format's gone with only 4 shows actually having stakes classes?
I think it's gone really well. We decided to change things up. So instead of going to lots of different shows and having a relatively small presence, what we wanted to do is find shows who really wanted to work with us so that we could add not just a financial investment, but through all the communications that we do to a very large customer database, to using local press ties and things that we have, really try and bring a lot more people to the show than ever before, and see if we can really just enhance what was already a very good recipe, but we think we've just added something a little bit more special this year.
It was certainly very obvious that the 4 shows that you were at during 2010, your branding, your presence, it was very difficult to miss.
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate. I've got a very good team who's responsible for that. I personally can't take any credit. But it's important. We work with thousands upon thousands of breeders across the country. We provide cover notes. It's a partnership relationship. We try to provide the right tools for them, for new owners. And it's about us cementing that relationship and saying that we're here to give support and help, hopefully, support a lot of what the showing community is doing.
I suppose demonstrating that you're giving back. Obviously, you're there to generate business, but you're actually giving something back to the community at the same time.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important part of the whole PetPlan philosophy. We are a business, but we're also one that believes in investing right through grassroots to the very top of sports, whether it's here at dog shows, whether it's with equestrian sports, because those are our customers, and we know from asking our customers, they think it's an important thing that we do. And it's great fun, it really is.
That's good. And obviously you feel the new formats work, because for 2011, again, two shows the same, two different shows, but again, the 4-show format, and the final again, 12 months' time?
Yeah, absolutely. We really think it's worked this year. So again, we put out the call about shows that wanted to work with us. Blackpool, we're going to, again, Steve Hall and his team did a fantastic job there. Southern Counties, and then 2 new shows, which will be Bath and Darlington. So again, trying to move it a little bit, but again, when we're getting it so right, we don't have to completely reinvent it every single year.
That's good. Well, congratulations, and good luck for 2011.
Thank you.